beginnings. Sarah's pen hovers over the signature line as she notices the date printed at the top, March 15, 1987. She glances at Michael, who's already signed his portion without looking, then at her phone, displaying today's date in bright digits. The realtor, Mrs. Henderson, adjusts her shoulder pads and taps manicured nails against the mahogany table. Her suit looks expensive but somehow dated, like something pulled from a department store catalog that never quite existed. "Just a clerical error," Mrs. Henderson says, her smile too bright. "The important thing is you're finally homeowners." The keys feel warm in Sarah's palm, their brass surface worn smooth by decades of use. 3 keys on a ring that seems to hold more than 3. She counts again, but the number shifts each time she tries to focus. Outside the title office windows, the Victorian house waits across the street, its gables sharp against an afternoon sky that can't decide what season it wants to display. The asking price had been absurd, $30,000 for a 4-bedroom home in pristine condition. Mrs. Henderson had explained it away with talk of motivated sellers and estate complications. Michael squeezes Sarah's shoulder. "Our first real home," he says. The paperwork rustles as Mrs. Henderson gathers it, and Sarah catches glimpses of shifting dates, names that blur between signatures, mortgage terms that seem to rewrite themselves in the margins. Architectural impossibilities. The kitchen door opens onto checkered linoleum and mint green appliances humming with 1950s efficiency. Sarah counts the burners on the gas range, 6 instead of 4. The coffee percolator gurgles, steam rising from its glass dome. Fresh bacon grease congeals in a cast iron skillet. Someone was cooking here minutes ago. The morning paper lies folded beside a half-eaten piece of toast. October 15th, 1953. The bread is still soft. Sarah backs away, leaving the door open. The hallway stretches longer than it should, accommodating rooms that weren't in the blueprints. She counts doorways, 12 on the left wall alone. From somewhere below, Michael calls out. His voice carries a hollow quality, as if traveling through more space than their modest house contains. "Sarah, you need to see this." She finds the basement door she's certain wasn't there during the walkthrough. The stairs descend past the foundation line, deeper than the house's footprint allows. Recessed LED lighting guides her down into a space that opens impossibly wide. Michael stands before a wall of smart home displays, climate controls for rooms they don't have, security feeds from angles that shouldn't exist. The timestamp reads 2:47 a.m., March 3rd, 2089. Motion sensors track their movements in real time. "The electrical panel shows we're drawing power," Michael whispers. "But look at this." He points to the main feed monitor. The house outline pulses gently, showing heat signatures in 17 different rooms. They've only been in 4. The rules reveal themselves. Sarah spread the notebook across the dining room table, her handwriting mapping impossibilities. Front door, 2024. Kitchen, 1953, complete with rotary phone and Eisenhower on the radio. Basement, 2089, all chrome surfaces and air that tasted of ozone. Bedroom, 1987, MTV playing endless loops on a wood-paneled television. Each door led to the same year, every time, no deviation. Michael returned from the kitchen carrying 2 cups of coffee that shouldn't exist, the ceramics still warm from 1953, steam rising in 2024 air. They'd tested this 3 times now. Objects crossed over. But it wasn't simple transportation. Sarah pointed to her notes. "I left my wedding ring on the kitchen counter yesterday, in 1953. And I found it in the bedroom in 1987, on the nightstand where it never was." Michael set down the coffee. The liquid inside had changed color, darker now, with an oily film that reflected light wrong. Sarah turned to a fresh page. "The basement door was locked from the inside this morning, but I watched you come back through it last night. I remember coming back. The lock was installed on the 1953 side, in the kitchen." They stared at each other across the notebook. The house wasn't showing them different times. It was editing them. Temporal contamination. Sarah's iPhone lies on a 1953 kitchen counter, its black screen reflecting overhead fluorescents that haven't been manufactured yet. The device seems smaller here, foreign among the rounded edges of period appliances. When she returns to 2024, the newspaper on their doorstep carries different headlines. The war in Ukraine never happened. The pandemic lasted 7 years. Michael finds the surveillance room behind a door that wasn't there yesterday. Dozens of monitors display every room in every time period simultaneously. The previous owners sit in worn chairs, unchanged, watching. Mrs. Henderson from 1953 points at Sarah's phone on the screen. Mr. Morgan from 1987 adjusts a dial, and somewhere a timeline shifts. "You're learning," Mrs. Henderson says without turning around. Her voice carries through speakers embedded in walls that exist in multiple decades at once. The monitors show Sarah and Michael in rooms they haven't entered yet, conversations they haven't had. On one screen, Sarah ages rapidly while standing in the 1920s parlor. On another, Michael dissolves slowly in the 1960s basement, his edges becoming transparent. "The house needs maintenance," Mr. Morgan explains, his fingers dancing across controls that blend vacuum tubes with fiber optics. "Every timeline requires adjustment. Every change needs witnesses." Sarah's phone buzzes from 1953. A text message appears on the kitchen counter 71 years before smartphones exist. "Welcome to the staff." The resident's purpose. The dining room table holds 43 photographs arranged in perfect chronological order. Sarah recognizes the house in each one. Same wallpaper, same fixtures, same peculiar tilt to the front porch. Different couples smile from the doorway in each image. 1952, 1967, 1981, 1999, 2003, 2018. The dates written in careful handwriting on the backs, different hands for different decades. Michael finds the guest book in the kitchen drawer. Every entry reads the same. "Thank you for choosing us. We couldn't have done this without fresh minds." The signatures span 70 years, but the ink looks uniformly fresh. The basement door opens onto a circular room that shouldn't exist. 26 couples sit in chairs arranged around a humming metal sphere. Their eyes track Sarah and Michael's movement, but their bodies remain perfectly still. Some wear clothes from the 1950s. Others sport modern jeans and smartphones still clutched in their motionless hands. The woman from 1963, Sarah recognizes her from the photographs, speaks without moving her lips. The house needs new consciousness every few years. Linear time perception degrades with use. You'll understand soon. Sarah tries the basement door behind them. It doesn't open onto the stairs they descended. It opens onto another circular room. Another 26 couples in chairs. Another humming sphere. The woman continues speaking. We were the first to figure it out, just like you. Chronological collapse. Sarah watches herself unpack boxes in the kitchen while simultaneously standing in the same space 40 years later, staring at rotted floorboards. Both moments exist with equal clarity. She feels the weight of dishes in her hands and the absence of everything they once owned. Michael appears beside her, 28 years old with moving day excitement, 63 with graying temples and something ancient she doesn't recognize. His voice layers across decades. This place has good bones, overlapping with, we can't leave, merging into sounds that predate language. The walls breathe with temporal sediment. Every conversation they've had in this house occurs at once. Arguments from next Tuesday blend with laughter from last century. She hears herself saying, I love you, in voices that age and crack and fade into silence, then begin again. Her reflection splinters across the hallway mirror. Bride, mother, old woman, child, stranger. Each version moves independently, living separate years in the same eternal moment. She tries to remember which face belonged to her first day here, but the memory exists everywhere and nowhere. The house has been digesting them slowly, she realizes, not consuming, cataloging, filing away each moment until their entire existence becomes part of its archive. Michael reaches for her hand. His fingers pass through her wrist, then solid, then through again as their timelines drift out of phase. How long have we been here? She asks. The question echoes backward and forward forever. The new tenants. Sarah watches through the security monitor as the young couple signs the papers. She recognizes the woman's laugh, the way the man's hand finds his wife's shoulder when the realtor mentions the price. Michael stands beside her, though he arrived through a different decade's kitchen door moments ago. Their voices emerge without conscious thought, joining the others who whisper through the temporal static. Such a good deal, Sarah hears herself saying, her words layering with dozens of previous residents across the decades. Perfect starter home. The doors are a unique feature. The couple on the screen leans forward as the realtor's lips move soundlessly. Sarah remembers sitting in that same office, the way the afternoon light streamed through those windows, the relief of finally finding something they could afford. Michael's reflection flickers between his current state and the hopeful young man who first walked through their front door. When he speaks, his voice carries the accumulated weight of every resident who came before. You'll love the way each room opens up to new possibilities. The security feed shifts between time periods. The same office in 1987, 1962, 2003. Different couples, same eager signatures, same whispered encouragements bleeding through the temporal boundaries. Sarah feels the house expanding around them, making room for two more voices in its eternal chorus. The young couple on the screen gathers their paperwork, keys glinting in hands that haven't yet learned which doors lead where. The cycle completes itself, as it always has, as it always will.